How we doing, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Getting Jiggy With It. I'm Will, and today we're going to open up another game in the North Sea Trilogy. So this is the second game, Raiders of the North Sea. If you saw our previous unboxing of Shipwrights and our gameplay of Shipwrights based on you guys, the voters, this is what was voted on for us to play tonight, Saturday. Or I guess if you're watching this in the future, then go find the gameplay video because it'll already be up, but I digress on that. So the North Sea Trilogy, you're basically playing a bunch of Vikings. You're going through the stages. So Shipwrights, we built our boats. Raiders, we're going to go ahead and take over some other areas. And then in Explorers, you're trying to then expand out. So each one of the games in the series is a little bit different. Shipwrights is more of just plain worker placement. I mean, they've all got like a little worker placement aspect. But it's basically just worker placement. Get yourself a ship, a card, you have a small little board for yourself. This one, on the other hand, is much larger, and you get a board, more worker placement, more actions, more cards. Now this, of course, is from Shem Phillips as well. It is Renegade Games, but also Garphill Studios. Of course, Renegade is who publishes it in the US. And now we need to find that beautiful little thing that says how many players and how long it takes. There we go. So it is 2 to 4 players, ages 12 and up, with an average of 60 to 80 minutes of playtime. And there we go. There is Garphill Games on this version. An example of the map and some of the components that we're going to be looking at in the box. We were really drawn into this, so of course we did get disclosure on this. And when we do the gameplay, we did get a discount from Renegade Games. It's the reason we've got the entire, speaking of which, the entire West Kingdom with no expansions, as well as the North Sea. We also have Clank and a couple other things we picked up from Renegade with that discount they gave us. So we do want to put that out front, that we did get a little bit of a discount. We're not being paid to do this, but we do appreciate any discount we can get that gets us more games for you guys to play. Some additional things. We've got game design, of course, Shem Phillips. Illustration by Mihalo Dimitrievsky. Graphics design, that's by Shem Phillips as well. But again, it is this art that really drew us in, because this game is very similar to the newer game, which is Raiders of Scythia, and that art didn't do it for me. So we decided to go with this. So the first thing we have, of course, are, let's move this over this way. We have our punch-out tokens. So these are our little resource bags. I would imagine, I think, on Kickstarter, there's probably some upgrades. You probably go on Etsy and stuff, find some upgrades as well. But for now, we've got the little punch-outs. These are like your little quests that you can do for the Chieftain. It is on the bottom of the board. Of course, if you want a rundown of how the game plays, we always explain the how to play on the gameplay that we do, our live stream. So, of course, subscribe, bell notification, all that stuff, so you can see the live stream or watch that video once it's up. And here's the Chieftain on the back. So when you take one of these, you flip it over and just have it on the back. That way it's kind of a secret. Your opponent doesn't know what you're doing. So you get 2 pages of those. And this is one of the end game conditions, is once those run out, the game kind of starts into its end game phase. So the next thing that we have here is the game board. Now I'm not going to be able to bring the whole game board open, but this is the top of the game board. So you have a track up here that counts the victory points. And as the game progresses, you're only going to be able to go into certain areas based on the meeples that you have. So there's 3 colors. There's the white, the gray, and the black. Meeples are workers that you can place. And then these are where your resources are going to be randomly placed at the beginning of the game. Here is your Valhalla track. So there are little Valkyrie meeples that if you go in and raid these areas, you're going to lose one of your crew members. So this is the back side of that. Well, this is more towards the bottom here. So this is the bottom half. So you see here you have the longhouse. This is where those chieftain options happen. So you can see here you can either trade in one of your animals, your livestock, to get 2 resources, or you can choose to pay the cost here to get those victory points. Let's see if I can get it open anymore. Yep, there we go. So there is the other half of the base area. And then you have your armor track here. So it gives you 2 things. One, it gives you additional damage when you go and attack or raid. And then you also have additional points that you're going to gain if you get far enough towards endgame. And then here's what I was talking about at the beginning of the game. This is really the only area you have, because all of these ones you can just put a regular black worker in any of these, so one of the black meeples. But then later, some of these you either get a benefit for having one of the other color ones, so the gray, for example, or you can't do anything until you get one of those from raiding one of the upper villages. So that is the map. Again, if you want to see the full map, of course, like I said, we will have that during the gameplay. So I got to figure out how this goes, because this is a very long map, and our table's kind of horizontal instead of vertical. So we'll have to see if the horizontal actually, no, the vertical actually works, or whether we'll have to do it horizontal. So here is our bag full of goodies. So of course, in any bag full of goodies, you always get a free bag of silica gel. Do not eat these. These are not healthy for you. It even says here, do not eat those. So make sure you don't do that. And then for your worker meeples, so here are the gray meeples here. We'll just take a couple of them out. So they're little Vikings. So they're very similar to the ones that were inside of shipwrights. You get your little Vikings. They look like they might be a little bit taller though. I think the ones in the they must have gotten something to increase their height. Maybe they were all kind of shortened down, and once they were able to get out there on the sea, they gained a little bit of height. And then here are the Blanco, or the white meeples. And then the glass meeples, right below them. There. Oh, there's not as many of these. Okay, so there are different quantity, it looks like, for each one. So there are less of these, and I guess that's because at the very beginning you only need a couple to put on the main board to get started. And they're the last one. So they're all the same. I don't know if I care that they'd be different, but it kind of could give a little bit more theme, like if they looked a little bit different, like one had the helmet, one had like a little axe in its hand. So these are your gold resources. So gold is used as one of the items, of course, to buy the quest, but also on in-game, you will be able to use these to gain victory points. So you have your gold, and then you have your livestock, and they all look like cows, which, I don't know. I don't know much about Vikings and all that stuff. I know cows cost more per, or at least to get cows takes more land space, right? More square mileage, which is why most smaller areas, they went with like goats. Like I was down in the Dominican Republic, and goat is very big down in the Dominican Republic. But cows take up a lot of room. So I don't know if Vikings had a lot of cows in their livestock, but that's what you get. You get cows. And then here are the Valkyries. Now these are kind of, I don't know, they're kind of plain, really, for Valkyrie. I guess it's supposed to be like an urn, like your ashes, right? So you have your urn for dying, so you have your ashes. But I don't think no, you got, well, you did get burnt. They put you on the boat, you went out and burnt. So yeah, you wouldn't get the little urn of ashes. So that's not very thematic, but I think maybe like if they had like a Valkyrie helmet would have been a cool design. Now I do know that in Scythia these were upgraded, as well as the resources. The resource tokens were both upgraded to more of a 3D element. I watched Tom Vassell just did a comparison of this, or maybe he didn't just now do it. He did a couple of months ago, but I was watching it to find out how this played, and he did a comparison of the two. And so this is a double iron. You get two. There you go. But these are the iron tokens, so kind of the same shape as the gold. They're just more of a dark. They look very dark on my camera, but they're actually more of a light gray in my hand. And then the last thing are the markers. So with the markers, you get 3 colors. So you get green, red, and blue. Did it say, was it a... Did I miss something? Was it only 3-player? I thought it said it was 4-player. I thought it said it was 4-player. Maybe it was 3-player. Hang on. 2 to 4 players. Huh. I feel like I'm missing something. Yeah, I think I'm missing a color here. I don't know what the last color would be, but we kind of can't track the 4th player. So I'm going to have to send Renegade a email. We don't need 4 players. You know, it's normally just me and Oddity, but maybe one day we would play 4 players. So I am missing my 4th player marker. The next one, I didn't know this came with this, and it's because I think in the West Kingdom games, the metal coins are in the Garphill edition, but the Renegade has the either plastic or wood coins, so you have to actually pay to upgrade. So these are nice because we can actually use these in other games, but they're nice metal, like nice metal chunky coins. You guys hear the clink, clink, clink. It's just funner, more tactile when you're playing a game. I do have some coins. I was going to do a kind of a review of some Amazon coins. I never got around to doing that. If you guys would like to see what those Amazon coins look like, they're like $10 for about 30 coins. I think I got 3 different ones, mainly because we missed out on coins for the Sea of Legends. And then you have 2 dice. So the 2 dice are basically used for attacking. When you go to raid, it'll tell you that you can roll a dice to increase your strength, because you'll need a certain amount of strength in order to get a certain amount of victory points on your raiding. And then you get a bag. So the bag's kind of weird because you only use the bag at the very beginning. It's so that way you blind draw what you're going to put in the fortresses and the areas that you're going to raid. So here we go. I mentioned the dice. So here you go. I forgot I was on this side. I thought it was down. Still in the village. But yeah, so this one you get to roll 2 dice because you need to get a lot. Like to get 12 points, you need 36. All right. So back to the bag. But yeah, you use this to blind draw and place the resources out on the map. And then after you do that, you throw it back in the box. Like I'm doing right there. Throw it back in the box. And then the last thing are the cards. So this is where your crew members or your ship comes in. The ship, I think, is just your player card. Ooh, wow, that worked pretty good. Sometimes that doesn't work. Sometimes, you know, you guys see me struggle on trying to open a pack of cards. So the ships are back here on the back. So here are the 4 ships that you can get. They're 2-sided. So this side is basically after you make it all the way around the track. So you can get over 50 points. So once you make it all the way over the track, you flip over your ships. That way you get 50 points at the end of the game, plus however many more you get on your track. So you get 3 little ships. It's kind of, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's personal preference, but like you can tell this one and this is like a rinky-dinky ship. It almost feels like, oh, I should be able to go from this to this to this to this. Like, oh, I can upgrade my ship, but I guess not. I guess thematically, though, if you play the first... Okay, so we're missing yellow. We're missing the yellow markers. All right, so I got to tell Renegade I'm missing the yellow markers. But I guess thematically, like if you played shipwrights and you built one of these ships, then you can be like, all right. Because there is a campaign mode where you go from each one. We didn't pick that up. We thought about it. I debated. But I heard from other people that it doesn't necessarily make the games feel like they're cohesive as much. I mean, you can feel the theme just from the theme, but I heard it doesn't make it feel as cohesive. And if somebody wins like the very first game, the benefit they get just basically starts making it where they're going to win the second and third game almost by default. So, but here are your crew members you can get. So you have the Archer. She gains extra victory points when you raid. You have the Armorer. And there's 2 different things. One is a benefit they get while raiding or doing something, or just a static benefit like get more gold. The other is if you want to play this card. So one of the sections in the town allows you to play this card to get that benefit there. So rather than reading both, I think we're just going to kind of skim through them to look at the beautiful art. Let me make sure I've got it at the right angle, so that way we're not getting that glare. So you get this, the Armorer. So of course he does things armory-like. Avenger, which I did watch it played, and they were doing it, and the Avenger makes you kill an opponent. So when the Valkyrie takes you out, you take them out. You get the big old Barbarian, so he gives you extra strength. The Berserker is another nice one. There's a bunch of them in here. He basically, when a Valkyrie kills you, you just get put him back in your hand, so he just keeps coming back to life. You have the Brawler, the Cartographer. Let's see, you got a Champion. Wow, he's expensive, so he costs 4 coin to actually use. So is he better for this? 3 VP at the end game. Okay, that's not too bad. Force all opponents to lose 1 provision. See, that's not great. I mean, I guess if you don't want to pay the 4 coin, I mean, I guess it's better than nothing, but that's kind of expensive. You have the Forager, so you get provisions. You have a Gatekeeper at the gates of Valhalla. The Gravedigger here. Okay, he's expensive too. Okay, so there are heroes. So the heroes basically get double benefits. You can't play these as a play card, but you do get 2 benefits here. You cannot hire more than, oh wow, you don't get 2 benefits. You get a benefit plus a restriction that you can't have more than 2 heroes. Tom Vassal was saying that he didn't feel like the heroes were needed. There's only 3 of them, it looks like. So, and they're not very powerful. You got 4, 4, 3. Those 2 are. She's not. She's only got a 3 though. Huntsman. The Jeweler's nice. Gets yourself a lot of extra gold at the very beginning of the game. You have the Marauder. He looks a little vicious. You got the Mercenary. Now that's a beard to be proud of. That is a beard that Quackalope would be proud of. A Merchant. What's he do? Gain 1 additional victory point for each pair of livestock. Okay. So yeah, livestock you want to have 2 at a time to be able to score. Unlike the other resources count as 1. You have the Recruiter, which lets you get more cheaper. Lets you get your members of your crew cheaper. You have the Sage. You have a Scout. Only a couple Scouts. The Shield Maiden. Always a good thing. 4 of those. I was about to say did 5, and then I was like, no. You have the Trader. Now, is she a traitor or a trader? She's a trader. Although she could be traitorous and do something to us. You have the Warlord. And then you have the Warmonger. That's the last one, is the Warmonger. Let me check under the box. I don't see anything else in the box. So there you go, guys. That is all of the components that come inside of Raiders of the North Sea. If you want to be able to see this type of gameplay and you enjoy this type of content, make sure you hit that subscribe button, bell notification to know when we go live with our gameplay. What else do I want you to do? There's all this YouTube stuff you're supposed to do. I think you're supposed to comment, share, all that stuff. Whatever. Until next time, guys. Peace.